Welcome back to Talk Tickers. Now, we usually break down those earnings calls, but today we're going to switch gears a little bit.
Yeah.
Some huge breaking news just dropped, and we got to talk about
Well, yeah, definitely got to cover this.
Nvidia.
Yeah.
They might be slapped with a $1 billion fine.
Mhm.
I mean, it's billion with a B.
From Chinese regulators, no less.
It's huge GE. It's not just, about Nvidia.
Yeah,
It's about the whole tech world, really.
absolutely.
Yeah.
This is about who's going to control the future of tech, especially all this, tension between U.S. and China around AI and chips.
Exactly. So we're going to dive deep into all of that today.
Mm-hmm.
What's going on with Nvidia, what this means for the industry, and, the whole 9 yards.
Should be a good one.
Yeah, and to help us unpack all of this, we have an expert in the house who knows a thing or two about the semiconductor market and antitrust law.
Well, I don't know about all that, but I've been following this story closely.
So first things first, for anyone who might not be, super familiar with Nvidia, they're basically the big dog when it comes to GPUs. Those are the super powerful chips you find in everything from gaming rigs to data centers.
And don't forget AI development. That's where they've really been making waves.
Yeah, and their stock price?
Yeah.
Oh, man, it's been on fire, up nearly 200% annually in recent years.
It's remarkable growth, really. And all this, this potential fine, it stems back to their acquisition of Mellanox Technologies back in 2019.
Mellanox, they're an Israeli company, specialized in that high-performance networking stuff.
Right. And China actually approved that deal back in 2020. But there were some conditions.
This is where things get spicy.
Yeah, this is where it gets interesting.
China's approval, it was all contingent on Nvidia, playing by the rules in their market,
Right.
making sure their products were available and that they played nice with other companies' hardware.
And now they're investigating whether Nvidia was engaging in tide selling.
Tide selling, what's that?
Basically, it's like forcing customers to buy one product to get access to another.
Oh, I see. Like you got to buy, a specific brand of networking equipment if you want to get their cutting-edge graphics card.
Exactly. And that can really stifle competition, which is what China is concerned about.
So why is China, suddenly cracking down on Nvidia now? I mean, it's been almost 4 years since they okayed the deal.
Well, there are a few things at play here. The global chip shortage is a big one. And then you've got this whole escalating tension around AI dominance.
Right. Everyone wants to be the leader in AI.
Exactly. And all this is putting pressure on countries to lock down their technological future. And China's sending a pretty clear message here. They're watching these big tech players very closely.
Makes sense. And on top of all that, Nvidia's been killing it financially. I mean, strong revenue growth, high margins, increased operating income.
Yeah, they're riding that AI wave for sure.
Right.
All those data center solutions are in high demand.
So even though a $1 billion fine sounds like a ton of money,
It is a lot of money, but it's calculated based on 1% to 10% of Nvidia's sales from last year.
so given how well they're doing,
It would sting for sure, but it might not be a knockout punch.
still though, it would definitely set a precedent for future tech acquisitions involving China.
No doubt about that. And it's not just China that Nvidia has to worry about. U.S. export controls are already impacting their business there. They're walking a tightrope, for sure.
So what's Nvidia saying about all this?
Well, they're acknowledging those potential risks, from the export controls and the overall economic climate, but they're denying any wrongdoing.
Of course they are.
And if the investigation leads to penalties, they'll probably fight it.
Probably. So before we get into what the analysts are saying, what do you think all this means for the average person listening?
It really makes you think about the power these tech giants have.
Absolutely. It really does. I mean, what are the analysts saying about all this? It's kind of interesting because even with this investigation, hanging over their heads and some, bearish signals out there, most analysts are still bullish on Nvidia long term.
Makes sense when you think about it. I mean, they're looking past this immediate uncertainty, right? They're focused on those strong fundamentals Nvidia has.
So they're not really sweating this investigation too much.
Not really. The average 12-month target price, it's $159.96. That's a 12% upside from where the stock closed last.
So basically they're saying this is just a blip on the radar.
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay.
They're saying Nvidia is built to handle this kind of stuff.
Of course, they're factoring in the risks, right? I mean, Nvidia's valuation is sky high after that massive stock run-up.
Oh, for sure. They're not ignoring that.
Yeah.
But even Stop Target Advisor, they use AI for their analysis. They're rating Nvidia as slightly bullish. They're weighing the revenue growth and market dominance against, those regulatory headwinds.
So it's like a cautious thumbs up.
Yeah, exactly. It's
Wow.
like, don't panic. Nvidia is still the king, but keep an eye on things.
So what's an investor to do? Is this a buying opportunity, or is Nvidia's momentum finally fading?
Tough question. The million-dollar question, right?
That's what makes the market so interesting.
Keeps things exciting. That's for sure.
Speaking of exciting, this is the part of the show where we like to put on our, speculative hats and throw out some crazy trade ideas.
The disclaimer here, folks. This is all hypothetical, purely for entertainment purposes.
This is not financial advice.
Definitely not.
All right, so let's say we're feeling a little risky and we decide to short Nvidia stock. We're betting that, this investigation is going to push the price down. But here's the twist. We also go long on a basket of companies that could benefit if Nvidia, stumbles in China.
Hedging your bets. I like it. So if Nvidia gets slammed with a big fine or, they face restrictions, those competitors could grab some market share.
Exactly. We're talking about, companies working on rival GPUs or offering alternative networking solutions. We're not giving specific stock picks here, remember. This is not financial advice, just brainstorming.
Right. You're looking for those underdogs, the companies that have been in Nvidia's shadow, just waiting for their chance.
Exactly. Now, obviously, this strategy comes with risks. I mean, Nvidia could come out of this investigation unscathed, or the impact might be minimal.
And even if Nvidia does take a hit, there's no guarantee those competitors will be able to capitalize. There are always a lot of moving parts.
True, but that's what makes speculating so fun. It's all about weighing those risks and potential rewards. All right, so we've covered a lot of ground today. This investigation, China's concerns, the potential hit to Nvidia's bottom line, even throughout some wild trade ideas for the risk takers out there.
It's been a wild ride for sure. A deep dive into a story that could really shake up the whole tech world.
Absolutely. And I think the big takeaway here, even with all this drama, Nvidia is still a major player. They've built an amazing business around AI and data center solutions.
And that demand, it's only going up.
Right. Their financials prove it. They're riding this wave of innovation and a potential fine. It's not going to derail them completely.
Definitely not. But, this whole investigation, it could change how tech companies do business globally, especially when it comes to China.
It's like a wake-up call. The rules of the game are changing.
Exactly. We're in a whole new era of tech, and things are getting pretty intense.
So whether you're a seasoned investor or just starting to learn about tech, this is a story you'll want to keep an eye on. Make sure you're following Talk Tickers on social media for all the latest updates and analysis.
We'll be breaking down the news as it happens, sharing all our insights.
So the big question is, will Nvidia weather this storm? Will they come out even stronger? Or is this the beginning of the end?
Time will tell, but it's going to be an interesting ride for sure.
And on that note, I'll leave you with one last thought.
Yeah.
How do you think this situation will impact the future of AI? Will it affect how AI is developed and who gets access to it?
Something to think about as we enter this exciting and sometimes kind of scary age of AI.
Thanks for joining us for this Talk Ticker special. We took a break from earnings calls to break down this massive news story. We'll be back soon with another deep dive, hopefully something a little less legally complicated. Next time, we'll be back to dissecting those earnings calls. Until then, stay curious and keep those tickers moving.